Sue your ass. Sue your ass. Hey. Mustard on a beat, ho, D-O, and rap nigga, he a free throw, man, down, call an ambulance, tell him free throw, nigga, tell the posse, like me. So, what's this all about, man? Recently, I finished The Alchemist, actually. Very much, about going after your dreams, believing in something, and just the things that you find along the way. And I think recently, with my recent videos kind of highlighting, wanting to go after like the intentionality and the purpose you want for doing the things that I want to do or you want to do, is obviously pivotal to actually doing them, like actually making things happen. But equally, I know that it can lead to flicking between, or actually not even flicking, getting stuck in the middle between these two states of working and being. Not even working, but just doing and being. And I think my word of this year is detach. And the reason I chose detach is because I want to be able to like more intentionally use my time for the things that I want to achieve, the people I want to be around, that kind of thing. But the last 24 days, so the start of this year, I found myself very much in the doing, but like resisting the being and realizing that I need to dedicate time to both. But what's currently happening is that I'm actually getting stuck in the middle. And that's actually sometimes the worst, because it's kind of like I'm in it a little bit here, but then, I'm trying to be, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to strike the balance. And it's tough. It's very tough, but it's been going. But I think the main thing is that just knowing when the time is right to just be, because there's a lot of times where, I have this like drive to do, but I just do not have the capacity. I do not have the energy. I do not have the time. I do not have something is lacking that I need to actually just be like, do you know what? I'm going to go from this side to this side. But what's happening is I'm going into this gray area, seeping into distraction, scrolling, doing this, doing that. And it's like catching myself into distraction is knowing that I'm lacking something. And it's just having that, I'm like growing to understand that about myself so much that if I'm, like spending a lot of hours on Instagram for myself, I'm usually lacking something, whether it's talking to friends, whether it's looking through memories, whether it's just being outside. It could be as simple as that. Because, sometimes this side, it squeezes stuff out of me. And so I want to be hard in this side, but I don't have the time to really just seep into it. So I get stuck here. But that's also partly a choice, right? It's partly just like knowing those boundaries, like setting those boundaries in the first place to be like, you know what? I'm usually a person who says yes, but this time I'm going to say no, because even in going and showing up, like we talk about showing up a lot, and I think this is an important topic, but I think it's important, I can't even speak. I think it's important as a topic for yourself. Show up for yourself. Like we love to show up for other people, but how much do you show up for yourself and say, do you know what? I'm just gonna be like, that's it. Because like, it's the 24th of January. We all can't believe it's the 4th week. And we're in a phase where we can actually decide how we're utilizing our time a lot more. In about 2 months, we might be in a complete different circumstance, to the point that we are heavily over here and we don't even know what that looks like anymore. So like striking the balance now and just like knowing what that is, I think that's the way to be. I can't even say it, man. It wasn't even intentional as well. That's the last thing. But I think that's the way to be. Like just knowing when you need it. That inner, like trusting that inner compass. Like there's something in you that says like, actually, this is probably slightly too much. Is it worth my energy? Is it worth? Because I don't even think it's always about money or time. I think a lot of it actually comes down to energy. Me going to this thing in the state that I'm currently in, I think it will require more energy than I have to give. Because once I come back from this thing, how is it going to leave me going into the next day? And I'm really trying to prioritize rest this year and just being a lot more structured with that. So if I'm already in a state that is not 100% and I'm going to give more than what I have, where I have the choices to do so, then it's like, it makes sense. It's like, actually, I won't. But it's going to be a battle, and it's always going to be a battle. But I think it's just the topic that I'm learning to understand about myself, for myself anyway. Because I currently do have the power. I have the power to keep my calendar open and be like, I'll see close to the time, or just, no, I won't be there. You would not be seeing me there. I am. But I think the biggest thing that is problematic, and this is when I know I get myself into a predicament, is when you have the doing mind trying to apply itself to a circumstance that just needs being. That's when there's the problems. Because if you apply that doing mindset when you need to just be, like, it's almost like not thinking, not really, just chilling, just niche. Do you know what I mean? That's when you get into problems, and then the inner voice just keeps running. I'll give you a circumstance. Like recently, I wanted to go to this like vinyl listening party, and I was proper looking forward to it. Like I was gonna meet some friends there and all of that. But like the day I had earlier was just so draining. Even when I was like making food, making dinner before I went and stuff like that. Like, firstly, it was already going into the time of the event anyway. I was probably like an hour and a half in, and I just finished cooking dinner. But like more than the time, it was actually just that my energy, like there was something in me that was just like I was tired. But I really wanted to go, so I was holding out. So it was just like this doing mindset was just like trying to figure out, trying to like, figure out a way, right? It's that how thing, right? But when I like finished eating and stuff, I was like, yo, it's like I had gone the whole day knowing obviously that I wanted to go to this thing, and obviously trying to do my best or like keep myself in a good space to know that I have the capacity to go to it. But then when the time came, like the evening came, and I just felt that, and I felt it a little bit before I started cooking and stuff, I knew in my heart of hearts that I was not going. But I didn't like properly like listen to the inner compass. I was trying to figure out a way. I was trying to do something to figure out how I was going to get to that thing. And I would say the problematic part that left me in the middle was that like I was like overthinking what am I going to say to the friends and what I'm going to... It's just like none of that middle shit matters in this circus. Like, it was just like I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Of course I'm gutted, but I won't be making it. And I think the reason why I think this is so important is because in saying that, I declared which side I'm going to be on. Not that it always needs to be black and white, but it's the peace of mind you have when you know where you stand. And as soon as I said that, I was already on the sofa, chilling. But after I said that, then I was really on that side. And it felt so good. And I guess what I would have done differently is listen to that voice, listen to that inner feeling earlier. I would have made the call earlier, you know, and I already have the peace of mind. But then also, like, some of the friends that were going, like, know it earlier, because, you know, information is power. Like, sometimes people got certain plans or da 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 da. Like, it's not to put all the responsibility on you, but I think it's more to say, like, just look out for yourself more, because it's the start of the month and there's people around me that I know are kind of burning out already. And this is, I guess, a thing to say, don't let that be you. By doing too much and not being enough. It sounds weird to say, it kind of feels cringe to say, but I guess if you don't listen to me, you're going to feel it. You get stuck in this gray area trying to figure that shit out. And then there's a whole load going on and back here, you know what I'm saying? So just find ways to flick. What do I need? What am I feeling? Feeling is the important part. Feeling, you know. You can always work it out with time or money. When it feels aligned, you'll make it happen. Like, you make time for the people that matter and the things that matter. You'll pay the money you need for those experiences that feel aligned, even if it will put you out for that short term. I mean, we're not trying to do this too much, but you get the gist. But it's that feeling. It's just that knowing what's right for me in this situation, putting yourself forward more, prioritizing that rest. You know? I just wanted to say that now in January, because we are about to complete month 1 of 12 in 2025. Before you know it, we're going to be talking about Easter, and we're going to be complaining like, you know, I'm tired. You ask people how they are, I'm tired, yeah. I feel you. It's almost a constant, but it's kind of a constant because you possibly are doing a lot of this, but maybe you aren't looking out for yourself enough to do more of this. So it's not always in your control, but in the pockets that you have, because I think sometimes I used to think, I always want this big block of time to create or chill or do something, but you know, these, I think, you know, as we get older, these big blocks that we desire, they don't come around that often. They're not around no more. And
but you control yourself.
They're not around no more. So they are around. They're just not around in the same quantity they used to be when we were younger. Maybe in this January period, our calendars are a bit more empty, so our evenings are freer. But maybe in February, I don't know about y'all, but my calendar's starting to fill up. I'm like, why did I say yes to so many things? Why? I feel like February is going to be a little shock to the system, but that's why I'm kind of using this month to really set the foundations for rest and just knowing what I need when I need it, do you know what I'm saying? That way I won't get caught up back here. So, yeah, there'll probably be a lot of doing, but in the pockets that I do have a lot of being, man. I am here to invoke a reminder in you that you already know these things. I'm not telling you anything new. You know it. How many of these self-help videos do you watch and you're like, it makes sense. It's not new to you though. It makes sense as in it clicks, but it isn't like revelation. I think that's a good sign that you already knew this. I think part of this journey that we're on is figuring out what is applicable and when to adopt it for yourself. And there's no time like now, you know. We find the pieces, and I think that's what the journey is about. It's just like year on year, it's refining what matters to you, and in the process, you become a better person. Like, looking out for yourself makes everything around you a lot better. The people, the relationships, the lifestyle, everything. So yeah, I guess this year's refinement is knowing what to be doing and when to be doing it, and knowing when is the right time to be.